Okay, so for me personally, looking at the electoral hoo ha ha and the protest that is going on in Nigeria right now, for me, I only see one thing, and that thing is trust. I want to make it clear that there's no way in the world that election is going to be perfect. But one thing we need to understand is that even in advanced country, if they are doing manual collation, if they are doing manual voting, the integrity is nothing to compare with our electoral or electronic voting that we conduct or conducted in Nigeria. So the underlying issue is not even the electronic or real-time transmission of results. I think the real issue is more of trust issue. I see this huge gap between the people and the government, and it's point blank. Even if you are blind to see that the people don't trust the government enough to allow INEC to be independent of federal manipulation or state manipulation. So the problem is not because we can't successfully do manual coalition. We did it during MKO Abiola. But the problem now is that majority of these politicians, they are very rooted in manipulating election, rigging election, vote buying, and all sorts of things like that. And in return, it's creating this gap of my vote is not counting and I don't have to bother myself in doing the exercise anymore. Okay, so I think that is the underlying issue. The problem is not manual coalition. The problem is, can we trust INEC enough to do right by Nigerian people by not allowing federal to influence the results? I think that is the issue. We have trust issue, and this trust issue is not overnight. It's something that built up gradually, and it should be a shame for our government that we are still talking about election credibility. I want to say that there's some offense in Nigeria that should be counted to be treasonable offense. One of them is if you are an INEC official or wherever you are at all, if you participate in election manipulation by altering the figure or try to be in favor of one person or another, it should be seen as a treasonable offense, and that should be punishable by death. You are altering the voices of the people, the choices of the people. That's a very big deal. That should be a capital punishment offense to manipulate election. Number two, that I think should be treasonable offense in Nigeria is that we have some people lately that they will make this public statement that if you are not voting the party we support, don't don't even bother to come and vote. And this is very common in APC. It's very common among their talks. They will make public statement, no arrest made. So I see that to be a treason for you to make a statement in order to deter people from exercising their civic duty. Because when you make a threat, knowing fully how election is being practiced in Nigeria, so come out publicly to say that if you are not voting APC, don't bother to come out to vote. That is a big threat to our democracy. The freedom of choice should never be taken away and should never be threatened. So if you are making that statement, you are indirectly manipulating election results because that can create fear because they know in Nigeria that it's a do or die affair. That should be a treasonable offense for you to make a statement that can deter people from exercising their civic duty by coming out to vote. So if you make a statement to tell people if you are not voting our candidate, don't bother to come out to vote, that person should be picked up and tried in the court of law. That should be considered a treasonable offense. And the last one that I believe should be considered to be treason is vote buying. And I decided to add this because looking at the situation of Nigeria, I think at this point in time, we need vote buying to be treason. People should have the freedom to vote whoever they choose as their candidate. Vote buying should be seen as a treason. And those are the things I say. Like I said, this protest for me is just a sign of saying to the government that we do not trust you not to manipulate INEC. And I believe that INEC should be independent enough to conduct election without federal or state manipulation. But the question is, INEC as independent electoral commission, are they truly independent? Do you think INEC is independent? Leave your comments below. I would like to hear from you.